Thank you, Madam Chair. Administrator Wheeler, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
I want to talk to you today and discuss the Clean Water State Revolving Fund. The Clean Water Fund provides communities, as you know, with low-cost financing, and I think that's an important aspect of it. It's financing for water quality infrastructure projects, and it's a critical tool for Florida in addressing a number of our water challenges. There's a massive disconnect in this fund, Mr. Administrator. On the one hand, Florida has the third most significant infrastructure needs in the nation, according to the EPA's Clean Watershed Needs Survey. So third highest needs, yet Florida is receiving the third lowest in the country allotment. Again, according to the EPA. It's a result of an antiquated formula, not the agency's fault. It's from a 1987 law that Florida receives the third lowest allotment. EPA's acknowledged in a 2016 report to Congress and that the Clean Water State Revolving Fund allotment, it acknowledged that, quote, in the EPA's report, most states do not currently receive appropriated funds in proportion to their reported needs or their population, which has demonstrated the inadequacy of the current allotment. The report also states, quote, the weighting and factors that were used to establish the formula for the original allotment are not known. So basically, and the Congressional Research Service says the same thing. In fact, they said it's even difficult to guess how this formula came about in the 1980s. That's probably not a surprise to some people. Obviously, Florida's population has exploded. We're gaining 1,000 people per day. This disconnect is unacceptable, given our needs. So bottom line, Mr. Administrator, and I recognize this as a statutory issue, or Administrator Wheeler, do you agree that it's reasonable for Congress to relook this 30-year-old formula, given this disconnect?
I have to be careful. I need permission from OMB before I endorse legislation. I will say when I worked in the Senate Environment and Public Works Committee, we tried to change the formula 3 or 4 Congresses in a row. And my staff and I worked at trying to update it. We spent a lot of time, and we ran into a lot of roadblocks from states who would have done worse under the changes to the program.
Will you commit to working with me on this issue as we look to reauthorize the program in next year's Word Bill?
Yes, be happy to work with you on that.
All right, great. And separately, this is National Estuaries Week. I want to thank you for the good work that the EPA is doing in administering the National Estuary Program. I have the Indian River Lagoon in my district. In July, this committee passed H.R. 335, the South Florida Clean Coastal Waters Act of 2019. The legislation established an interagency task force on HABs to really get some empirical data behind that issue. Will you submit for the record what the agency is doing in reducing algae blooms and how you think your agency can contribute to this task force? And in the interest of time, could you also submit for the record what the agency is doing on coastal resiliency and helping states that have coastal resiliency problems with rising seas?
Absolutely.
Thank you, Administrator. And
thank you.
Madam Chair, I yield my time.